Hey everybody, how you doing? Just wanted to give a quick little video. Um, Last week I had a very interesting CE-5 contact experience. Now, when I'm doing these, sorry, itchy nose as always, for some reason. I It's based on the Stephen Greer philosophy, but of course I'm sending a little. My messages are a little bit more specific in this sense. I'm trying to contact the Majeena, or a longer name that is just known as Majeena or Manajana. Mana is what they call Epsilonus Orionis Alnilam, third star in the constellation. I think that's the star that is the planet. I think there's more than one planet that they have inhabited in their time. But anywho, um, basically, this session was aided with the use of recreational marijuana. It's legal in my state, so don't get you all illegal on my ass. Most states in our union, it's legal. Not most, but 20 or so. Can't remember the exact number. But anywho, so I'll tell the story. So I went to bed around 11. My girlfriend was up later partying and listening to music. She came to bed around 2. Itchy nose, sorry. This woke me up, and I couldn't get back to sleep, so I figured, well, why not smoke some of the green stuff? Yeah. So I smoked some of the green stuff, hit the spot, totally relaxed me. And so I went back to the bedroom and lay down and stuff, and I felt like I'm almost meditated already. Now is a perfect time to attempt CE-5 and contact my boys and girls. You know, it's a little presumptuous to call them that, but my favorite, the P-52 Orions, tall whites, Majeena, whatever you want to call them. So I did that, and like I said, I was already fairly meditative, and I was pretty relaxed, and so I did the whole procedure where I, you know, kind of create a Google Earth in your head and zoom in and out, establishing geographical location. And I did that, and within less than 5 minutes, I would estimate, I'm guessing, a fairly short time, I had a distinct mental shift. Like something had latched on and I was no longer completely in control. And this, I've done maybe CE-5 a half a dozen times. I've had no results as of now. So I can't really speak as to if this is a typical CE-5, but my communication request was very specific. I'm looking for Majeena P-52 Orions, which they're one of the 4 main species interacting with us right now, which we can get in that later. But so after the shift happened, my eyes were closed because it was like the meditative process. I saw a series of 5 or 6 faces that had distinct Orion characteristics. The longer chiseled chin, the larger eyes. The images did not have a whole lot of color detail, so I could not ascertain of whether they're big blue eyes, but they were big. They went further around the sides of the head. And, some people say roughly twice the size of ours. And one interesting facet of it was the hairstyles changed. Longer, shorter, some were even darker. And I know they generally don't have dark hair, but perhaps some of these could have been due to wigs. So this seemed almost as it was an introduction, like a calling card, or maybe there was a group of them that had received this transmission from me. And this experience was so new, it caused a good deal of fear. And as marijuana goes, that can also cause fear. So at this point, I'm a little freaked out because, like I said, I felt like I was no longer completely in control. And then the next aspect of this was a woman's voice. And I was laying down like this, pretend the pillow is here. a woman's voice that seemed to be very clearly coming from my right side, seemed to be coming from that side, started speaking. And when that happened, I became even more terrified, which is part of the problem with this, doing these things you never encountered before. But like, she was giving a set of instructions, something like, do not do this or do not hesitate to. And then when that happened, I got totally terrified and I started to resist the whole thing. And her voice became garbled, almost as if it was static or an electrical failure like a bad connection. And I woke up. No, I didn't wake up. I was able to open my eyes, and I was in the room. Girlfriend was right next to me, and I was quite fearful I was not alone, and I was afraid they would start levitating me from bed, and I wasn't ready for that yet. And they do that in certain abduction experiences, levitate people from bed. And so, even the next day, I contacted Ryan Musgrave Evans. He's been an experiencer of the Orions, the Majeena, his whole life, and kind of told him my story, more or less how I just said it. And he basically said that he thought it was quite compelling. I mean, obviously he couldn't prove it, and I can't prove it, but I think I definitely probably hit some of the CT. I don't know if I would call these profile points, but you just stuff of when you're under their influence of the loss of control, a mental shift. Some people refer to it as their mind fuzzing over, a download, images, audio. And I asked him about that, and he said, if I make contact again, request clarification on the message, which is good because apparently, and this goes right within some of the stuff in Millennial Hospitality series, is they could have been talking to each other about me, but not directly to me. It could have been addressed to me, or it could have been about something else. And the more I think about it, the 5 or 6 faces, it could have been like a small team that was sent. Okay, we received this transmission from this free range ancient human through the CE-5, the consciousness, whatever they want to call it. He's calling us out by name. Let's investigate, which I think is possible. And interesting about what Ryan said about them talking to each other about a person meant there were more than one involved. And I'm thinking, since I hypothetically, possibly, since I had lost the feeling of lost control and like a mental shift is kind of like a mesmerization by them with their electronics or microwave electronics, as I've heard Charles Hall once mentioned. So they might have been in close. I have no way of knowing. What I mean by in close, in the same house, cloaked, nearby. But I've never had an experience like that. Like I said, I've done CE-5 half dozen times with no results yet. And like I said before, I'm planning to do in-field expeditions, exploring haunted areas and stuff that, I'm trying to find habitation areas. And of course, I'm doing friendly contact. I want to be an assistance. I'm not going to be armed. I'm not going to be a hunter. I'm interested in learning, and I'm sure they need as many free-range ancient humans as, well, this is all speculation, as possible to sort of get their population used to interacting with us on a regular basis. And so, yeah, that's where we stand with all that. So, have yourself a good night. eyes on the oceans and your eyes on the rocks where the subterranean habitations are.